Okay, so afternoon everyone. So again, this is the build for the Aston Martin DB9, and we are at stage 4. So we've only got 126 to. I only got about 40 or so, 40, 50 pages, about, what are we, 42 pages to go. So we're getting pretty close to the end. And I've tried to keep this so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm going to try and work around the tripod as much as possible, which fingers crossed I can. You know what, I'm just going to turn that a bit so I can actually get around to it. Again, still working on my tripod rig as to how I'm going to get it set up, but we'll get it sorted at some point. So let's see. I'm just trying to get my head around exactly. I see. So I suppose that's for the boots. I think so. Bonnet, the hood, whatever you want to call it, from wherever you are. So just trying to make sure that I'm actually getting everything in shot and also got everything which I can reach. So there we go. So there's a little bit of give on that. I'm not 100% sure why they've done it like that, but that's fine. We will work it out as we go along. So a bit and I see. So that's going to be all right, fine. Not sure I fully understand where they're going with that, but we'll see. So he pops in there between those. I'm not entirely sure why there's a bit of give on that, but it's more to get the shape than anything else. So next one is those, and find that amusing. The fact that those are close enough, so that would indicate a problem with beta testing, with people having to go, no, not like that, don't do that. Oh, these little yellow bits. There we go. Yeah, make sure I've got that right. Yeah. So I'm also going to try and make sure that we start. I have been digging through the older, well, all the vintage Lego that I've got, and one thing I'm planning to do is actually, well, first thing is I'm going to try and get hold. I mean, the instructions do say that the instructions, I can probably work out what is actually in each pack, but there are, I think it's Brickworks. There is definitely a website I can go to which will give me a better idea. So I'll probably be doing that just to save time, really, because I think, as I said before, the inventory is not something the older models tend to do, which is rather a frustration because it would be really, really useful to have. But I suppose, well, that's what we have it now. So let's not get too worked up about what we didn't have in the past. But it is something to take into account. And yeah, some of the brick websites do give you that. So you've got that as an option. Anyway, so that's the hood as we're building up. I see. So, well, there's a piece in the middle there which I'm just about to put in. So again, that bit, not that bit. I've got understood that far. So Well, as we're coming to the end, we're getting more to the point of the build where there's just one of each particular part they're putting in. So there we go. So that will sit like that. I'm assuming. Let's see. Right. Have I missed something? Probably. Yes, yes, I did miss. Important brick. That one goes on there. Yeah, I mean the ones I'm supposed to be most nostalgic about will be the old space ones, which yeah, I talked with Mum about that, and we reckon that the reason they got some of the little ones is it's the kind of thing where, well, the way she looks at it is that you go to a kid's birthday party. Oh, so that just pops off. I don't think it's actually, so it's not actually secured down by the looks of it. I mean, there may be a bit later on, but let's get as far as the rest of it while we're here. Hang on. I may have missed something earlier. So there's definitely that gap there in that diagram. So let's just see where that's going. Is there a... Oh, I see. Yeah, right. I understand why there's that gap, because there's a bit which they're putting in horizontally. So those and double P. So this is going to be for the other side of headlamps, I suppose. Must be. I can't think it'd be another machine gun, so it's definitely supposed to be headlamps. I mean, this is, even at this scale, you are working with a little bit of abstraction with the Lego-ness of the models. Yes, I'm going to use Lego-ness as an adjective. So make sure that's, wait, and the two clear ones. The clear ones, especially on this tabletop, are a little bit hard to see sometimes, but I can get my head around it. And then those, you see there's a little red bit that will pop onto, so that keeps it flush. That's, yeah, that looks good. Wing mirrors, of course. Yes, which is a slightly odd place to put it. I'm not sure how well that actually lines up with an actual DB9, but it looks nice on this model. So I suppose this is, it's a Lego model. It is abstraction, therefore aesthetic. God, that was the nerdiest way to put that. Abstraction is a form of aesthetics. Well, I mean, that is something that people do. I mean, just think of your White Stripes video where they, that was actually hand animated, I think, even though now you could probably just do it as a filter. So I'm just looking for the little see-through bit, which I said was difficult to see on this tabletop, which I had a second ago and I found now, but yeah, just can be a bit of a pain to try and find. So making sure I do it the right way round. That's good. And then you've got the A pillar, B pillar glass. So they're using these, which, yeah, I mean, that doesn't look too bad. Actually, it was quite nice. So making sure I'm putting it in the right place. I don't put it in backwards. Come on, James, keep it together. I mean, literally keep it together. Right, so that again, we're reaching the point of the build where it's gradually becoming more car-like. So then you've got rear doodad. I'm using that word too much. Bits, because I mean, this video is going to probably be less than an hour, I suppose, because we're getting close. I mean, we're getting to the point where we're actually putting the top on it. I mean, it's pretty much just this bit that needs doing. So we are nearly there. Let's see, so. And we will, yeah. And there's your bits. Hang on, what does it want me to do? Ah, I see. So he clips. Wait, no, there's more to it. Apologies. It's interesting the way they have, so this is the way they're doing this, because it would usually be, you know, I am truck window, but it's actually going to be I am rear like that, which, so I can just find all the little bits. There you go. Okay, so they're going in different directions. I assume that's for some kind of structural strengthening. And okay, there we go. It's one of those. Oh, I see. And then I think the boot will hinge on this. So lock in. There we go. So that's clipped in. Can't really see, but there's little clips under here. So that's holding that in. So that's now your rear glass. There is a sticker there. So that's going to be for your arches. I must admit, the whole way through this, I have had the James Bond theme tune in my head, which, you know, I can handle that. I'm not going to go too stir crazy with it, but I am aware of it. And now you have it in your head as well, which I suppose there are worse theme tunes to have. So it's like you said, different situation of there being the decal on the glass, and so instead of having to put it on when you're done, having to work out which one of the bits has the I'm going to do it as done this way, just so that I don't, you know, mess up my spatial awareness too much. So there you go. I see. So it's building up the edge of the glass using little pieces. So I mean, it'll have a degree of sort of, you know, bumpiness to it, but not in a way that's going to cause me. It's not going to make it, you know, there. I mean, it's a little bit jagged, but it just makes it more Lego-y, I suppose. And then he goes, just for my insanity. Yeah, again, you've got this little clip here, which is going to go into, which is going to give you the right angle. There we go. So you've now got a nice curve on it. We'll do the one on the other side. So again, I'll try and get it in camera what I'm doing. I may speak to Anais and ask her about camera angles and tripods and things, because she does this, well, professionally. I think this is how she's maintaining herself. But so that's the right bit there. There we go. That's they managed to get pretty close to that sort of compound curve they've got there, but yeah. It's something vaguely satisfying about using up the last of the bits in the model. I may need to take the man out. I'm a little disappointed. He fits now, but I don't know if he's going to fit long term. So there we go. Yeah, that's right. I was just trying to work out the curving of it, but it's Lego. It will not be perfect. I mean, I'm sure the designers were very happy with it, but it will not be 100% perfect because, again, this isn't a Bandai special edition, 100% 14:1 scale, whatever, which is, yeah, not what I bought. I did not want to, I didn't want, but it wasn't how I wanted to do it. I'm sure at some point I'll have a go with one of the proper Bandai ones, but not what I want to try and do today. So again, I think this is the rear of the boots. Let's see. Hang on. Sorry, again, just trying to work out my spatial awareness. Oh, I see. Hang on. Right. I'm going to put this in, and I'm going to show you how it works, because I think we've reached the point where one of the features has come in. Yeah. No, not that one. Yes, trying to separate out one for stickers and whatnot. I mean, at some point, when it's finished, I might actually show you guys the unholy collection of Lego that has appeared for me. Right, so straighten up a little bit. I spoiled the surprise over there, but there's your bulletproof shield. Sort of stays in place. I mean, yeah. Again, does worry me a little bit when it goes all asymmetrical, because I sort of start going, oh no, what do I need? So, but that's these little pieces which I suppose there's going to be I'm not really sure yet what those are for, but something to do with the boot, I suppose. So here we go. And then, so a moment where there's a fold in the paper, and there's a moment of, oh, was I supposed to put in one of the bendy bits? But no, the bendy bits are for some, well, there's one bendy bit, which I'm looking for that. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Hang on. I thought we were one piece short, and it's right there. I had a panic moment, which not the first time I've done that. So it wants the DB9 bit there. Yeah, it's a DB5. It's not a DB9. It's a DB5. I'm going to have to go through and change everything now. I mean, I still want to refer to it as such because I can't really change it now, but it is a DB5. Never mind. I don't think any of you are really going to care that much that I got the name of the car wrong, because you're more interested in James Build Lego. But what have I done wrong there? I haven't done anything wrong. I just haven't completed it. Well, I suppose not completing it would be doing it wrong, but haven't reached that stage because I'm finished. You can't say you didn't complete it until you have. You can say that, but yeah. So that one moves a bit better than the previous one did, which is, you know, whatever. It's I mean, it's a fun thing to have rather than you genuinely wanting to rotate it every time. But just the fact it does rotate is all we really want from it. So there's, again, your Aston Martin branding. Stick that all down. So a nice curve to it, and then the back end of it. So the boot is actually a ticket. I mean, it must be on the original. I mean, it's a nice feature to have. Just, I suppose, I'm used to hatchbacks, which don't really do that kind of thing. But I mean, it doesn't matter all that much. But it's just a novelty to me, I suppose. But so, God, what are they called on watches? Are they called? There's a name for the making it complicated bits on watches, and I can't for the life of me remember what they're called. But that very much feels like, I suppose, what you get on some cars. Like we just like your gull wing doors. I mean, gull wing doors are a bit dumb, but they also look really cool. I mean, you know, maybe I'm the right kind of childish from my gull wing doors, but if I could, but I actually ended up doing the right thing without realizing, which is that these are even, so you need one longer than the other. Well, one even, one odd, whatever. And then plonk the rest on. So it's also just interesting seeing the way they've used sort of model parts that I can remember what they were for originally. Like that was always essentially the front bumper, number plate, whatever, of the very small models. You know, the ones where it's essentially sort of Gaian model. That wasn't really descriptive, but you know what I mean, which is where the scale of the Lego man is slightly different. So there you go. There's your, you pop those in. So you've now got, come on, there we go. So it is actually articulated a little bit. I mean, I suppose, yeah, fine. There you go. A little bit, it has some articulation, which I suppose it's going to, oh, I see. Sorry, it does actually make it clear where it's going, but it looked like it just went and just pop it on. Pop it on where? So, it's more for, okay, so it's not really supposed to be articulated as such. It's just supposed to be to get the curvature of the car. All right, well, that's, I suppose, a little disappointing, but now the back end is complete. There you go. There's your little pop-up anti-bullet thingy, which, yeah, I mean, it was a silly thing in the it was a silly thing in the original one. It's a silly thing now, but it's my silly thing now. So, yeah. Now, okay, so we're now building the dashboard. Well, another part of the dashboard, I suppose. So this will be where you've got all these little tiny little instrument panels, which, you know, again, a degree of abstraction. They don't really denote anything. I mean, much as somebody did do that thing where they went through all the, hang on, sorry, give me a second. No, never mind, sorry. I had a horrible panic moment where okay, if anyone from Oxfam ever watches this, I should trust your staff more. I shouldn't just be going, oh God, I've broken or lost or whatever something. I should actually, you know, trust that you guys, when you said counted, have counted it, because so far everything has been here. I mean, the only thing was that they weren't in the right bags in some instances, but the fact the first two bags were almost correct was actually quite good, because there's really no indication of what bags go where. So, I mean, you guys did a decent job. I mean, God, I'm not even sure how I'm going to do it when I finish it. I'm probably just going to bundle the whole lot into one bag. I know, sacrilege, but or I'm just never going to disassemble it. I mean, I'm not going to go all Lord business about it and glue them. You know, there's a reference which some of you will get and some of you won't. But yeah, I'm not going to go all Lord business about it. I'm just going to lose my train of thought. I'm just going to be careful with it, because I mean, it's not a toy for 3-year-olds. I mean, if you don't give this to a 3-year-old, they'll wreck it and chew it. I mean, I won't wreck it and chew it intentionally. It'll just, I've got chewed Lego. Yes, I was that kid, which I suppose I can learn that. Which it's fine. I still occasionally chew things, but I try to make sure it's nothing valuable. I do try to just use chewing gum, which kind of deals with it. And let me get that the right way up, because I mean, there you go. There's a little instrument panel. It's straight enough. That's does that slot in? There we go. So there's your instrument panel. Cool. Again, they've got little bits to denote a few of the curves. That's right. Yeah, a lot of this sort of suspending by clips, which is, it's actually a really good way to do it. If you can, instead of having to fight with the, see that, I assume that will be the instrument panel there, but it's not. So that's going to get covered up with a bar. But let's make the bit of this next bit of the frame. There we go, and there. Get the feeling with the designs of a little bit of like, Lego will do what we say, god damn it, because it feels kind of how they've built it, a little bit of like, oh, that isn't quite how it goes. Well, screw that. We're just going to put in little single peg bits until it works properly, which, sure, yeah. Okay, so again, not much more to go. This isn't going to be the longest of videos, but it's definitely been, I don't know, I find this bit quite satisfying in its own way, because you get to really see it shape up. Right, okay. Pay attention now. That way. So there you go. So the black bit is in the middle, and So. Why? Like, I mean, why that? It's probably a catch or something, but it just feels a bit weird that they've done that. Yeah, I mean, why use articulated bit if you're not an articulate? Because I assume there'd be a little swing in it. I think it's going to be a catch of some kind. Also, I haven't done this bit. So, hang on, what? Right. Again, it helps if James pays attention because there's those bits to go in. Yeah. There we go. Right. One last time at James paying attention. That bit, now that looks right, then I can work out which of these two bits should go, which is that one. Okay. And then there. And so that is supposed to shear over the side. Okay. Put in more hinges. Make sure I get them the right way around. One last hinge. There we go. Okay, so that is correct. Oh, right. That you have to hinge the yeah. Okay, that makes sense to me now. To the fact that you have to have the ejector seat as so. So there's actually going to be a pop-out bit. Okay. I mean, yes, I know it's obvious, but the asymmetry makes more sense to me now. Come on, get in there. Sorry, there we go. Something fell in. Okay, so. Concentrate for a second to get this in correct. Well, it was going to happen eventually. Sorry there, Lego test pilot, but your helmet is too big. He's a little too tall for the car, which was why we were having problems, because that's the Lego man. I'm going to try him without the helmet and see if he, come on, just move it up. That's why it's not popping in, because it's not popping in there. So I've done something wrong, I think. Let's go back a section just to make sure I've got it all lined up correctly. So it looks all right. So get him to go in. So it's not really, it's supposed to just rest, I think. Come on. I mean, I can now see what I did wrong there. I mean, I don't know if I did that before. Yeah, I did that before. That's why it wouldn't pop in, because that was that way round, not that way round. Okay, that's why James was being stupid. So I'll put him, put that. So I'll put the panel back in there, and then that back in there. Okay, so we're nearly ready. I'm going to stick that back on there, so do it in the right order. There we go. So now those parts aren't going to be fighting with the construction. There we go. Right. So that's now done. And as it shows in the diagram, there's where your ejector mechanism goes in. I'll put the bonnet back on. I mean, yeah, I suppose it's been a bit too much to try and hinge it. Just having a one that stays on, really fine. And then just something just to cover that hole there. Yep. Assume this is part of the pop out bit. So there we go. There we are. Oh, I see. Right. So this actually doesn't just, you don't just lose this. It isn't just for sproing. It actually is pulled out by the articulation. Okay. So put him there, him there. So there we go. So it then goes, a couple more bits to go on to keep everything secure. And then so we'll pop him out and it slides on to that. I'm assuming there is a piece to hold it in place. Yeah, so there's an articulation bar there, which is, oh, that's a fiddly one to get in. Hang on. Yeah, you've got to try and tuck it in right like that, which luckily my big sausage fingers aren't too big for it. And so that then, you see what I've done? Hang on. This is the point where it's going to be fun to get this off. Test, 1, 2, right. Now it's working. Sorry there, guys. Not sure what happened with the microphone there, but let's go back to sharing as we were. So hopefully you didn't miss too much of that. I literally only just noticed, but if you did miss me rambling, sorry about that. But as you can see, dear, sorry. Hang on. Hang on. I just realized what I did, but it's okay because what is Lego without mistakes? So let's try that again. Sorry, I didn't put the latching part of the arm on the right way round. So it should have gone on like that, so it's more secure. So, and that way round. So let's just make sure that works before I lock it in place. Yep, it does. So there we go. Now, cool. So that works as intended now. So it took me far too long to do that. Okay, now we've got the chair, so we can actually pop it out, which will be fun. Same kind of thing as we did before with these. I mean, to be fair, I didn't actually look that uncomfortable. I mean, if I was forced to use a Lego chair, these ones would actually be acceptable. I mean, if you made these full size, yeah, I could probably put up with these. So, oh, this is the bit where it's like warning you can hit yourself in the face with it, which, yeah, I suppose you could. And so that's how it loads into the ejection mechanism. Straight, I suppose. Then feed the ejection arm in. Not got that much more to go. This is nearly done. So that's how it will be. I don't use the word expunged. It's not the right word, but somehow it just feels appropriate. As I said, I was saying to Mum the other day, it's like, well, the whole point of the ejector seat is to, he is ejected out of the plot. As in, you know, what happens to the bad guy? Don't care. Bad guy no longer there. So again, yeah, I could probably, I think I've sat on less comfortable chairs than that. So, back in, and then it goes in. It just slots in there, and you can, I'm not sure if you can see from the diagram, there's a little bar it sits on. So, yeah, fine. I'm okay with that. I don't need it to go far, but just it doing that amuses me. I mean, even if it just pops out and falls back in. Now we put the wheels on, and then we're nearly done, I think. Oh, right. Okay. So you know the two little knobs there? Those go in the back and then manually are put onto the wheel. Fine. You know, that's just, that makes perfect sense to me. I don't know how the hell else you'd do it. So let's put the wheels together, and they're good size chunky wheels. Actually, these are nice. There we go. 1, 2. 3. 4. You find that? Just notice that those are what alloys would normally look like, but there's a little that way around. Okay, so normally you'd have alloys. No, I think it'd be normal ones. Anyway, you've got your spoke alloys there, like you'd have in the 60s. Oh. Retrieve that. Oh. And then you put your spinning death pieces on it. Again, I feel like if you were an actual spy, if you were obvious enough that somebody would try and run you off the road, you're doing the spying wrong. I feel like you should sort of not be seen to the point where this is no longer a problem. Anyway. I think that is about done. Now we do have some extra bits, which I'm not quite sure what to do with. I mean, I think these are just the spares that came with it. So I think as this was literally complete as done. I mean, I can't see where they would go. So I'm just going to stuff them in the boot, which I know is a bit crap, but I'm just going to put those in the boot so that they're with it. And you'll go, well, what are those? It's like, oh, those are spare engine pieces or something. Yeah, I'm just going to stick those there, which I know it's a bit crap, but it just means that I can then still say it's complete and don't have to worry about where to put them. So now we're at the fun bit. So now this is here's where we show off all the gadgets bit. So you got your ejector seat, which is very hilarious. Actually, I suppose you could just open the door and do that. You've got your front-mounted machine guns. What were the other ones? You've got your rear piece there for your bulletproof shield, and you do have the little wheel pieces, but you have to put those on manually. And of course I forgot. Get him out of the way. So you've got your little. You can just see it, your little rotatable. Just make sure you can see it. So your little rotatable, like radio, radar, doodad, 60s, whatever. And of course, your changeable license plates, which I feel like you could have just had Bond get out and do it. I mean, it's anyway. So that's it. That's the whole kit. I'm very happy with that. That's been great fun to do, and it is. I mean, yeah, that's actually not far off what I mean. It's Legoized, agreed. What a DB9 looks like now. If we take the guy's helmet off. I do have a headless one, so that's some god awful reason. How you lose the head off one of these things, I don't know. But if I'm careful about it, hang on, get into it. No, not quite. That's a real shame. I mean, he leans. I mean, tall person problem there. I mean, it's close enough. I mean, as a tall person myself, I feel this man's pain. You'd have to bump it up a little bit, but you know, considering the angle you're going to look at him, I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with my little driver there. So there's track test guy in, we'll say he's one of Q's minions in the Aston Martin with all your bits. And actually quite a fun little engine. So not the same kind of complications. That's what they're called on watches. Not the same kind of complications as you get on the Land Rover we did last time, but definitely fun little model. So yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I suppose I should just be pedantic and make sure he's got the right plates in the front and back. But yeah, and that guy's he's fine in there. It's not perfect, but he's pretty close to being the right size. Well, hope you guys enjoyed watching me build this one, because this is a bit of fun, a fun one to do. I'm surprised they got the James. Just the idea of Lego James Bond, I find strange. There's also Lego Fast and the Furious is Don's muscle car. It's like, cool. That's a weird thing to have, but nonetheless. And the ejector seat does work. You can pop to the roof properly. The ejector seat actually works better than the I had a dinky toy version of this. It must have been, or maybe a Matchbox, but that actually almost works better because it's got a proper articulation system, whereas the other one was just this, I don't know, it looks like it folds down better. It looks like it's less obvious. Whereas the other one was clearly this big cutout and it had a spring-loaded thing. And I'm sure I lost the chair at some point. I lost the model eventually, but as is the way with children. But yeah, that's been a fun one to do. And next time should be, well, what are we now? It's New Year's Eve now, so I'll be back in Oxford next week. So I'll try and do, I'm hoping, yeah, I reckon I've got enough parts to do that one. I'll do that. I think I have enough parts for him. Or no, there's one I have my eye on because it was that kind of Lego 90s ridiculous. Yes, I'm pretty sure I have enough pieces for this crab walking thingy, because okay, so it's a submarine with wheels on it. I mean, the wheels do go round. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be buoyancy. I'm not sure if the wheels are even supposed to be wheels, but I'm pretty, I mean, it's not a complicated one. I'm pretty sure I have most of the bit. Oh, yes, I just realized. I'm not sure if those fins I'm not sure if those are supposed to be like steering fins or whether or not it's supposed to be or whether or not it's supposed to be like a where he keeps his flippers. I don't know. Actually, I'm really glad that this, the one bit which would have been really hard to find would have been that, and I have found both of those. What the hell are those? And now I know. I assume they were part of the Technic range, but no, it's part of the submarine cheaply. Yeah, it doesn't really say what it is, it just says 96. And I'm sure if I look up the code, but that's the one I want to do next because I have strange nostalgia for it. So that hopefully will be next week. But there's the DB9, are all good. And yeah, hope you guys have had fun watching.